The 2008 financial crisis. No economist saw it coming. The COVID-19 pandemic. No health expert expected it. The 2022 Russia-Ukraine war. No geopolitical analyst predicted it. The 11th of September, 2001. No intelligence expert prevented it. Have you noticed? None of the events that changed history were foreseen by experts. Why? Because experts systematically get it wrong. Nassim Taleb calls this the Black Swan. What is a Black Swan? An event that no one expects, that everyone says is impossible, but that turns the world upside down. And here's the problem. Experts can never see black swans because their models look at the past, but the future doesn't look like the past. In 2008, economists said the housing bubble can never burst. It burst. In 2020, they said pandemics don't happen in the modern world. They do. In 2022, they said Putin will never attack. He did. Experts fail most when you need them most. And Nassim Taleb said this before 2008. While everyone was laughing, he was saying the system will collapse. And he was right. Now, I'm going to ask you, what will the next Black Swan be? And this time, are you ready? I'm Nassim Taleb. I'm a former Wall Street trader. And for 20 years, I've been trying to tell you something. Experts don't know. Economists can't predict. Analysts can't see. And you're trusting them. That's your biggest mistake. Because the events that change the world are unpredictable. I call them black swans. And black swans destroy everything. Now, let's take this story from the beginning. And let me show you, why do experts always get it wrong? And why should you stop listening to them? The year 1994, Wall Street witnessed the birth of a new superstar, long-term capital management, LTCM. Who were the founders? Two Nobel Prize-winning economists, Myron Scholes and Robert Merton. World-renowned mathematicians, world-renowned traders. The smartest people. Their strategy? Mathematical models, risk calculations, guaranteed profit. And for a while, it worked. LTCM delivered 40% annual returns in its first 4 years. Wall Street was mesmerized. They said these guys solved risk. No more losses, only gains. In 1998, something happened. Russia defaulted on its debt. LTCM's model said Russian default was impossible. The probability? 0.00001%, basically zero. But it happened. And LTCM lost $4.6 billion in 4 months, nearly collapsed. The Federal Reserve had to bail them out because if LTCM fell, all of Wall Street would fall. So what happened? How did the smartest people get it so wrong? The answer is simple. They looked at the past. In the past, Russia had never defaulted, so it wouldn't in the future. Make sense? No, because the past doesn't guarantee the future. But the experts don't understand this. They think history will repeat. And then when history changes, they're shocked. I call this the turkey problem. Think of a turkey. Every day, the farmer comes, feeds the turkey. For 1,000 days, the same thing happens. What does the turkey think? The farmer is my friend. He feeds me every day. Tomorrow he'll feed me too. Make sense? To the turkey, yes. Because it's looking at the past. There's 1,000 days of data, all the same. Farmer equals good. But on day 1001, it's Thanksgiving. The farmer kills the turkey. The turkey is shocked. How can this be? The 1,000 days were good. But for the farmer, this isn't surprising at all. Because this was always the plan. Feed the turkey. Kill it on Thanksgiving. The turkey looked at the past, but couldn't see the future. Experts are like turkeys. They look at the past, build models. They say if the last 10 years were like this, the future will be too. And then the black swan comes. Everything changes. Now, let's go to 2008. In the 2000s, US housing prices were soaring every year, rising. Banks were giving credit to everyone. They said home prices never fall. Why? Because historically, housing prices had never fallen simultaneously across the entire US. So it was impossible. Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke said in 2007, the subprime mortgage crisis is a local problem. It won't spread to the economy. Economists agreed. The system is sound. There won't be a crisis. Wall Street agreed. The best times are coming. And I wrote a book, 2007, The Black Swan. The book's thesis? The system is fragile. A small shock will create massive destruction. The housing bubble will burst, and the financial system will collapse. Wall Street laughed. Taleb is a pessimistic lunatic, they said. 12 months later, Lehman Brothers failed. Bear Stearns collapsed. AIG was bailed out. Merrill Lynch was sold. Washington Mutual failed. Wachovia was sold. $10 trillion in market value evaporated. 9 million people lost their homes. Unemployment hit 10%. And the economists? They were shocked. How can this be? Our models didn't show this. Of course they didn't. Because your models looked at the past, but couldn't see the future. So how did I see it? I didn't look at the past. I looked at fragility. Wall Street was over-leveraged. Banks were using 30-to-1 leverage, meaning $1 in capital, $30 in debt. What does this mean? If assets fall 3%, capital goes to zero, the bank fails. That's fragility. And I saw it, and I got out. But others, they stayed in, and they were destroyed. Now, let's go to COVID. End of 2019. The World Health Organization published a report, Pandemic Risk is Low. Bill Gates had been warning for years, pandemic is the biggest threat. But no one listened. They said pandemics don't happen in the modern world. We have hygiene, medicine has advanced, we have vaccines. Makes sense? Historically, yes. In the last 100 years, there hadn't been a global pandemic, except the 1918 Spanish flu. But that was 100 years ago. Those things don't happen anymore. December 2019, Wuhan, China. First COVID case, January 2020. Don't worry, it's a local problem. February 2020, still saying it's under control. March 2020, the world shuts down. In 3 months, everything changed. The economy stopped, millions lost their jobs, trillions evaporated, and the experts shocked again. How can this be? This shouldn't have happened, but it did, because black swans are things that shouldn't happen, and that's exactly why experts can't see them. Now, let's go to 2022. January 2022. Russia is amassing troops on the Ukrainian border. Western analyst, Putin is bluffing. He'll never attack. Why? Because it's irrational. The cost to Russia is too high. Even the CIA said low probability. The 24th of February 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion. They planned to reach Kiev in 3 days. The West was shocked. How did he do it? Why did he do it? But for Putin, it made sense. It just wasn't in your models. And that's the problem. Experts assume rational actors. Everyone acts in their self-interest. We calculate their interest. We predict their actions. But people aren't always rational. There's ego. There's pride. There's ideology. There's anger. Putin thought if Ukraine joins NATO, Russia is finished. The West said Ukraine has a right to join NATO. The result? War. The sides didn't understand each other because they lived in different worlds. And the experts understood neither. Now, do you see the common thread? 2008, COVID, Ukraine. In all of them, experts were wrong. In all of them, the impossible happened. In all of them, the system was fragile, and a small shock created massive destruction. So why? Why do experts systematically get it wrong? There are 3 reasons. First, the past data trap. Experts look at the past. They build their models based on historical data. If the last 50 years were like this, the future would be too. But black swans aren't in the past. They're happening for the first time. So they're not in the data. Your model can't see the black swan because the black swan is outside your model. Second, overconfidence. Experts think they know because they learned a lot, got a PhD, have 30 years of experience, and this experience gives confidence. But confidence is dangerous because it makes you forget that you don't know what you don't know. You studied economics for 30 years, but do you know about pandemics? No. You're a geopolitics expert. But do you know Putin's psychology? No. But you say I'm an expert, I know, and you're wrong. Third, the incentive problem. Experts are rewarded for making predictions. If an economist doesn't say the economy will grow, they're unemployed because everyone wants optimism. If an analyst doesn't say there won't be war, they create panic because everyone wants peace. So experts say what people want to hear instead of the truth, and they're wrong. But there's no punishment because everyone is wrong. I was right in 2008. But in 2007, I was labeled crazy. Wall Street excluded me. But then I was proven right. And what happened? Nothing. I was already outside the system. But those inside, the economists who were wrong, still in the same place, still making predictions, still being wrong. Because in the system, there's no punishment, only reward. Be wrong, apologize, continue. So what's the solution? Don't trust experts? No. Experts are useful for specific things. If you need heart surgery, go to a cardiologist. If you need tax calculations, go to an accountant. But when predicting the future, never. Because the future is unpredictable, especially black swans. So what should you do? Become anti-fragile. What's fragile? When shock comes, it breaks. Most banks in 2008 were fragile. A small shock destroyed them. What's robust? When shock comes, it survives. Some banks in 2008 were robust, low leverage, high capital. They survived. What's anti-fragile? When shock comes, it gets stronger. Chaos benefits it. I was anti-fragile in 2008. When markets fell, my portfolio gained because I had invested in the collapse. So how do you become anti-fragile? 3 rules. First, limit downside risk. Don't risk more than you can lose. If losing 10% destroys you, don't play the game. Maximum loss should be small. Second, keep upside unlimited. Gains should be unlimited. If you win, you should win big. So even if you lose 10 times and win once, you're profitable. Third, keep your options open. Don't commit to one plan because plans change. Be flexible. When chaos comes, adapt quickly. And this strategy applies everywhere. In career, in investing, in health, in relationships, in life. Be anti-fragile because the next black swan is coming. When? I don't know. How? I don't know. But it's coming. And experts won't see it. Models won't predict it. Analysts won't warn you. But you can be ready. How? Don't be fragile. Be robust. And if possible, be anti-fragile. Don't let chaos destroy you. Let chaos make you stronger. Because history is written by black swans. And black swans destroy the unprepared. But the prepared, they win. In 2008, I won because I was ready. Next time, will you win? Or will you say, how did this happen? The choice is yours.